Hi, and thanks for joining me. My name's Tim Marvel. Hey, I want to ask you a quick question. Are the habits you have today on par for the dreams you have for tomorrow? Now, that's a pretty simple statement, but let's put it into play and let's talk about some things that are important that might help you move through that. And we'll talk a little bit about habits, we'll talk about attitude, we'll talk about things that you control, because there are things you don't control, and I really don't want to spend a lot of time on those, because if you don't control, I can't worry about it, but I do want to set myself up well to move through the process of getting where I want to be. So first off, I need you, when you're thinking about the goals you have for life, I need you to think about something bigger than you can imagine. You know, it's great when I say I want to be successful, I want to make a lot of money. You know, what does that mean to you? I worked in the auto industry for years, and I always found it funny when I'd walk out and I'd meet a customer as a salesman, and I'd say, "Hi, how can I help you?" And they'd say, I want a loaded vehicle. I want to load it. I want everything on it. Well, let me tell you a little story of what that means to me. See, I grew up with a large family. Being loaded to me means power windows and locks and a remote, so I can find my vehicle. See, that's a nice vehicle to me. Now, other people, it means I need all the technology. I need the moon roofs. I need the navigation systems. I need all the other things that are there. Anything I can get on that to make the new technology, the MP3 players. I need the internet on there. I need to be able to get my YouTube. You see what I'm saying? So we need to have a clear understanding of what it is that we want, because I mean this in my heart. When you think about what you want, the big things, if it's really a big thing, it's got to be something you never done. And we're going to go back to an old Jim Rohn saying, and it says, to get something you never had, you have to do something you never done. So when you think of that, you got to step out of your comfort zone to move forward. So as I think about that, and I think about communications, and let's talk about a few things on communication, things you control. You control your personal hygiene. You control whether you get up in the morning, whether you come here, whether you have a good haircut, whether you're shaved and clean shaven, or some, you know what, it's kind of an in thing now to have a little bit of growth going on. It's a rugged look. I don't know what it is. But hey, you know what, it works for some people. It doesn't work for me. Having a clean pressed shirt that doesn't look like I pulled it out of the bottom of a hamper because I didn't take time to prepare for the week and get my clothes cleaned and ready. You know, I'm a little bit odd because I even set my clothes on. I know what I'm going to wear the whole week. Once Monday hits, I don't want to think about that stuff. That's know in advance, do in advance. It's something I picked up years ago that is a valuable tool. If I know I'm going to be really busy and I don't want to think about what I'm going to wear, see, I love Jim Rohn. He says a lot of really smart things. Les Brown, they say things like this, the most successful people do the little things better than anybody else. What are the little things that I need to do to make me successful? Okay, be prepared. Being prepared is really important. When I say being prepared, what does that mean? Does that mean I have notes for every day and I know what I'm going to do, and I look at my schedule ahead of time and I know where I need to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? I know the appointments I have, and I know that, and when I say appointments, that includes my personal life. See, if you don't plan for the things you need to do, then you know what you'll do? You'll skip some of the things that are important, and your personal life's important. It's just as important as your business life, maybe more. I don't know. I love my personal life. I love my wife, and I want to make sure that I take the time it takes to spend with her so that we're a successful couple. Wow, that's a lot. See, the big thing, with the little things that they're talking about when they say that statement, it's about the little things. It's about the little things you do every day. I have a few habits I try to do. I try to text my wife every morning, tell her I love her. Whether I'm busy on the road, whether I leave at 5 in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes, I still do the same thing. If I'm not at home, if I am at home, if I'm in the office around the corner from where my wife's sitting, I'll still send her a text and just tell her I love her. It's a habit. It's one of those little small disciplines that they talk about having. Another small discipline. See, disciplines, if you'll do them every day, they become habits and you don't think about them. How about doing this? Blog every day for 4 years without missing a day. And that includes vacations. It doesn't take long. Just go and put a couple lines in. You got it in your head. Guys, you're going to do, if you really want success, you're going to be willing to do the things other people aren't willing to do. See, when I say that, and I talk about blogging, and at this point I've blogged for 4 years in a row without missing a day, and I find it really funny because people are like, well, wait a minute, didn't you go on vacation? Well, yeah, I went on vacation. It doesn't mean I have to shut my brain down when I go on vacation. Yeah, I want to get away from most of this stuff. And a lot of times my blogs and so on will be centered around that. Or maybe I go to a conference and I start at 7:30 in the morning and I get done about 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and guess what? I'm tired. And guess what? It's a habit. And if I don't do it, I feel like I missed it. So when we're thinking about attitude and communications, and we're thinking about, hey, what's the little things I need to do every day to move forward? Am I willing to do them? Let's go back to how we started this whole thing. I ask you if your habits today were on par for the dreams you have tomorrow. And I told you your dreams aren't big enough. You cannot think big enough to outwork your dreams. You want to make $1 million, you just got to set it down on paper, right? It was funny, I had this discussion just recently with a gentleman in my writers group that I have, and we were talking, and I said, I think you can be anything you want to be, but you got to be willing to pay the price. And the guy's a psychologist, and he said, yeah, I don't agree with you. Like, I can't be anything. Like, I can't be a surgeon. And I said, yes, you can. What's keeping you from being a surgeon? Well, I'd have to go back to school. Exactly. You need a certification. Get your certification, whatever it takes. If you need to go to school an extra few years, still, if you desire it strong enough, if it's burning in your heart and you really think you need to do it, or you'd like to do it, and if you have enough desire, you can make that happen. Yeah, but see, he's telling me all these what ifs. Guys, if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way to get it. I think it's amazing, and we think about this, and there's people out there that struggle for things. I've been to concerts before where they're really good entertainers, and you know, there's folks out there that they work on a regular scale and they get paid week to week and they live pretty much paycheck to paycheck. But guess what? When that entertainer comes to town, they're going to pay that $125 a ticket to take them and their spouse or significant other. They're going to find $250 for that pretty easily, because it's the desire. That's how bad they want to go to it. And see, we're all the same way. If you want something bad enough, you're going to find a way. Otherwise, you'll find an excuse. So that leads me to another fellow that I listen to every once in a while. I really like this guy. His name is Mike Rayburn, and he made a comment, and he talked about his desire to play at Carnegie Hall was so strong that every day for 10 years he wrote a note. I want to play at Carnegie Hall. I want to play at Carnegie Hall. Every single day for 10 years. Imagine that. That's a strong desire right there. And you know what happened about 10 years out? He got a phone call. Hey, Mike, look, we need somebody to front somebody that so-and-so is not going to be able to make it. Do you think you can make it? And he said, sure. And they said, you know what, we got one problem. We can't pay you. So he made a deal with him if he could sell some of his wares, his CDs and so on, and some of his music, that he would go ahead and do it, but he had to be able to absorb. You know, he's got to be able to pay for it somehow. And they agreed with it. And so he said, you know, he went there and he did. And he said not only did he get to play with it one time, he's been there 4 times and he sold it out, which is really amazing. But that's desire. For 10 years in a row, every day he wrote down that desire to go and play there. So, guys, if you have dreams, if you have desires, I want you to think about it. Are your habits today on par for your dreams of tomorrow? And here's the deal. If they're not, you have all control. You know, my books are all based on 10 seconds daily. What could you do for 10 seconds a day that a year from now you'd be glad you did? And seeing that goes into a daily discipline. Okay, if I just do something for 10 seconds a day, you got 86,400 seconds a day. Am I willing to invest 10 seconds into a dream? Let me ask you a question. What's the worst thing that could happen if I invest 10 seconds a day for 10 years? I'm bound to be better than where I am today. So, hey, you know what? If you want to earn a lot, you got to learn a lot. So keep learning, keep jumping on CDs and videos and reading books and, hang out with people that do what you want to do, and you'll get there. So I want to thank you for your time. Again, my name is Tim Marvel, and I'll talk to you soon.